It's a joke. Tell us.
Are they? Well,
tell me how it is. What's funny about it?
Because the men and women that are doing what they're doing behind this wall give you the freedom to do what you're doing today.
No, you see, I basically disagree with what you're saying. They do not.
They're not
they
there.
do not. We've got a government.
I used to go here. I'm a soldier.
Okay.
I used to go to this place like 28 years ago.
Yep.
Those soldiers overseas, they're not fighting for our freedom to come
What are they
over
fighting
here.
for?
They're fighting for the corporate profits.
Yes, they're fighting for corporate profits. You heard it from. Guess what? Tell him what your husband. Tell him what your husband used to do.
My husband.
Yeah.
My husband was a captain in the war.
Yeah. What else?
He was a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the question again?
You lost your train of thought that quick?
No, but I want to know what
What's the question again?
The point is that what the men and women do over these side of these walls is a lot more than what you guys are doing right here, and it doesn't seem like you guys are helping anything.
Well, that's your analysis, you see.
We're trying to raise
What have you gained off of doing this?
Well, because people go by there and they say, that looks like a reasonable bunch of people, then they're for peace.
Like I did. And I came and talked to you.
Yes, but I don't, I'm not convinced you're reasonable.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what you wanted, right?
We're open to a conversation. Yes.
Awareness about war and the hidden cause of war.
Right.
We're trying to raise awareness about drones, how they impact people, civilians in other lands.
Drones?
Well, drones. How it makes it easier to kill people by being...
Like the ones my 10-year-old flies?
No, we're talking
Like the shadow drone right here that is weaponized and they use in Iraq and Afghanistan.
That doesn't. That doesn't cost American lives, though.
Oh yes, it does. Oh yes, it does. Because the blowback in our streets is based on and because of our illegal, unconstitutional wars in foreign nations. Blowback in our streets.
Like repercussions.
Our wars are creating terrorist actions within our streets, and we're feeling the blowback from it.
What should we do about ISIS?
ISIS?
Yeah.
Well, ISIS. What do you suppose those people in ISIS are like? Do you suppose they're not human? They're human beings just like you and me.
What should we do about them?
Well, we should try to make the country safe and for people to have enough to eat and drink and sleep, so that there's no need for them to be warring.
I know, but they're warring or terrorism for the wrong reasons too.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that.
ISIS are good people?
Do you know that?
No.
I do not know that. I think there is no human being that's lost.
ISIS are terrible. The United States was helping support and fund ISIS. And they did this with Al Qaeda. I'm totally, absolutely. Before this, to go back to Charlie Wilson's war,
that's okay.
When you go back to Charlie Wilson's war, Clinton, Zbigniew Brzezinski, had this bright idea of funding the formation of Bin Laden and the formation of Taliban in Afghanistan. They funded the Mujahideen, and actually Bin Laden was our buddy then, as Saddam was, because we were using him to fight Iran. If you look at the geopolitics in the world,
what made him so upset to create what he did?
Who?
Saddam. And Osama.
Well, because Saddam.
The U.S. did not get out of Saudi Arabia after the first Gulf War. That's what made Bin Laden mad.
The Iraqis were far better off with Saddam in there than they are today.
I think that was a George Bush thing, though, where he went over there for oil and...
Well, yes, that's exactly correct. We'll agree on that. Our oil was over there in their land, and
I think that was a Bush family issue.
No, they are Americans. They were president of this country, and they represented what this country represents, which is corporate power.
I know. So, where should we all go if we think it's better somewhere else?
I'm not saying it's better anyplace. We make this country better. We make it better by behaving like we should.
I worked up in Canada for about 4 years till my visa expired.
Yes. Okay. So you worked in Canada for 4 years?
Yeah, I worked in Canada for 4 years. And when I stopped there, that was a differently ran country. And as being American, anywhere I would go and I would talk to people, and they were so friendly, like all of you here. We have a conversation, but as soon as they heard I was from stateside, I was the enemy.
Really?
It was really kind of weird, and so I spent all my time up there. I worked for the railroad, and I do ultrasonic testing. So I went from coast to coast doing inspections, and anywhere I went, I was the outsider. So I thought that was weird.
Apparently, with everyone you talked to, you felt like it really different. You didn't.
There was a lot of good people I met, but there was a lot of people where I was there taking their jobs.
Oh, well, that doesn't that.
You had a
Well, you
competitive
understand
deal.
that though, then,
So
can't you?
my point is that if we can't be happy here and in such small numbers, I just don't see the profit and the benefit of this, I guess.
Well, but you said yourself that when you went there and they found out where they didn't like, it wasn't you that they didn't like. It isn't you. It was what you stood for.
They just thought I was taking their work, but
That's right.
here's the deal. We're the only country that offers the line of work and training in 6 years of college that I went through to do what I do. They don't offer that up north.
Let me tell you something else. We can agree on something. Right now, do you know how expensive it is to get a college education? You know it's beyond the reach of ordinary people.
Yeah.
So, but they can go to any European college tuition free.
Did you know? I found this funny. I heard this on the radio the other day. So our school debt is up in like the 2-point-something trillion right now, and that was a private
college debt.
Yeah. That was a privately ran deal, and all of a sudden, President Obama had made that. He'd put a government official and made that now it's a governmentally owned debt. So now when everything gets done, so now when everybody's running, they want to do free tuition, but they're not going to wipe out all the previous school debt. So that's going to upset a lot of people to get, they paid whatever they paid up to now, but now they're still set with $40,000 worth of college debt. Now we're going to campaign on free tuition. What does that do to all these other people? That's not fair.
Well,
So how do we wipe that slate clean?
I agree with you. There are a lot of things. There are technicalities about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you and I would agree on what makes a good life. What makes a good life.
Yeah.
And,
Put food on my table.
Sure. And you want your children to be happy.
Yeah.
And you want to live tomorrow. So there should be no problem if we work for a better world.
But you know what? You're going to have poverty. You're going to have...
You don't have to have poverty.
No.
Yes,
The people
you do.
in
That's
Iceland.
how the world works.
No.
it's not.
Look
No,
at
it's a good
Iceland.
world,
In
it's not.
Iceland,
What
there's
did you do for a living?